All right, everyone. So in the last video, we talked about the concept of an if statement. Okay. And what an if statement basically does is it evaluates something. It evaluates, is something true or is it false? Okay. And we kind of gave, some ideas about it, like, let's just say for the sake of argument, you are Amazon and you're trying to figure out if someone gets free shipping or not. So you have a variable that represents the total amount someone spent. We'll just call it total. And you might say something like, if total is more than 50, meaning dollars in this case, then, you know, you get free shipping, right? So in other words, we're evaluating this. We have this variable, whatever, hopefully you set it up correctly. Is it or is it not greater than 50? Okay. There's only really two possibilities. It either is greater than 50 or it's not. Okay. There's no other possible answers here. So you know, you uh if it is, we're getting this, you get free shipping item here. Now, the problem with this is like, okay, let's just say for the sake of argument, total is 25, right? Sorry, I'm getting this auto correct or capitalization there. So let's just say it is 25, right? And we know that, okay, variable substitution, this is 25. Is 25 more than 50? Answer to that would be false, right? So, okay, well, what happens? Well, we know that if this is false, then we kind of jump to here, right? And then that's kind of it. There's no more evaluation. But what if, so, we know when they get free shipping, but we don't have any feedback if they don't get free shipping, right? Like, so maybe, as a company, Amazon wants to, encourage people to spend more. So they may say, okay, well, oh, well, you haven't hit, $50, but if you just, buy a little bit more, you get the, like you don't get free shipping, but if, just kind of like a reminder or just like any sort of feedback, you know what I mean? And currently there's really no way to do that. So in an if statement, logically, if it rains, then I will bring an umbrella. There's also what's called an else. Else, I will not bring an umbrella. So in other words, whatever you are doing, there's a possibility that you're not going to do it. So then you basically say, if this or else this, okay? Either you are above 50, and if you look at it from there's two possibilities, right? There's a true and there's a false. Well, we know what happens if it's true. Currently, nothing happens when it's false, but let's say we want something to happen. This is false and we want something to occur. We can use else for that. In this case, I could say else and then something along these lines. Now you might notice I'm writing it here. Technically I could do it like, this is typically how to see people write it. You could do it like that too. The empty space there does not mean anything. Oops. So I'm going to come in here and say print you do not qualify for free shipping or something along those lines. Okay. So what I'm going to do here in exercise 2, I have a variable called my color, and it's equal to green. And I want to test to see whether it's equal to red. Okay. And if it is equal to red, um, I want it to make a circle. And if it's not equal to red, I want it to be create a square. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set an if statement. If my color is equal to red, let's build a circle. All right. I'm just going to test this. So I need this to be equal so we can test it. Variable substitution is red equal to red. It should, so then it should build a circle. Oops. Is my color? Oh, sorry. This should be a string. Okay. There you go. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to switch this from red to green. All right. So variable substitution would say, okay, well, is green equal to red? False. So then it just kind of jumps here and nothing happens. What I want to do is I want to set up a fail safe. What happens if it's false? Well, else, and then whatever you want to do. You can do anything you want. Print this color is not red. But really what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build, in this case, we're just building something which is a square. So square 200, 200, 25 or whatever you want to do. So what I'm going to do now is when I press play, this part, this is going to be false. So it's going to jump over, since green is not equal to red, this is going to evaluate to false, right? It's going to jump over this part and it's going to go straight to here. And this part is going to run. Okay. So whatever is in this part is going to be immediately jumped over and it goes to here. Let's run that bad boy. Okay. All right. So, we can see the use of the if statement, you know. So going back to like, let's say I was trying to do that situation with like maybe the total for Amazon. Let total equal 100. So let's say total has to be more than 50 to get free shipping. If total is more than 50, you qualify for free shipping. Else, you do not qualify. Sorry, let's try to be nice. Sorry, you do not qualify for free shipping. All right, so let's do a little Blackboard programming here. So we know that total is 25. Get substituted in there. Is 25 more than 50? Not last time I checked, so it should be false, which means this part does not run, and it jumps down to here. So it should say, sorry, you do not qualify for free shipping. Okay, and that's what happens. One more thing I want to talk about is what is referred to as an else if. Okay. So we talked about, an else statement. If the condition is met, you run the first. If this is false, you run the second block. The problem with that is really you only have two options, right? This or this, right? Everything is either yes, no, or this, right? But what if you wanted to have possibility of more than two outcomes, right? What could we do? So here I have this example of, maybe I want to check if a number is more than 5, but less than 20, right? So, is X more than 5, more than 5, but also less than 20. Okay. Oops. Actually, let's do a slightly different. Maybe I'm trying to grade someone, right? And grades go from 0 to 100. And if basically usually the way it works is like 60 through 70 is a D, 70 through 80 is a C, 80 through 90 is a B, or 89, I guess we should say. Let's make it like that. And then 90 through 100 is an A. Okay. How could we do this to make this work, right? Well, let's try to do it out. So what I'm going to do is, all right, I have a variable, which I'll call test score. Let's just, for right now, say it's 95. Okay. So we can write an if statement that says if test score is more than 90. So if it's more than 90, we know that it has to be an A, right? Print, score of A. Okay. So if I run this, this should work, right? But then let's say we don't get it's not above 90. We get nothing. And then you could write something like this, else, print score of B, because B would be less than, right? But this isn't good. This isn't going to work because basically anything less than 90 is going to get, score of B or whatever I put there, even though we want to be more fine-tuned than that, right? We want to be able to have nuances there, right? We want to be able to say, okay, from 80 to 89, from 70 to 79 is this, from 60 to 69 is this. So how, this is just not going to work. Like, I do 55, it still says I get a B because that's still less than 90. If it's 65, it's still going to tell me that I have a B, right? So none of this is going to work, okay? So what can we do? Well, there's something called an else if. And what an else if allows you to do is basically reevaluate the condition, but using basically it's another conditional, but you can use different information, okay? So in other words, here I'm saying, okay, is sorry, I'm on the wrong file there. Is test score bigger than 90? What I might want to do is the next thing I want to do is say, is test score bigger than 80? Because at this point, if you're getting to the second one, we know that it can't be 90 and above. Otherwise, the first one would have picked it up. So if we say, is it bigger than 80 or 80 or bigger, then we know it has to fall somewhere between 80 and 89. So what I'm doing is I'm evaluating this again, or doing a new evaluation, but this time I'm just checking to see whether it's bigger than 8. Okay. And then print, score of B. Now I still want to have an else. This is kind of my catch-all. Make sure that yeah. And then, not A or B or something. So let's try this out. If it's 95, it should get picked up by the first one. It did. Then I'm going to switch this to 85. And that worked. And then if I make it 75, which is below, not A or B. And then if I wanted to do each different option, I just reevaluate test score with different criteria. You know what I mean? So, okay, we want to test if something is a C, else if test score is more than 70, print score of C, else if test score is more than 60, print score of D. Now, the last thing I'm going to do is well, okay, we know that if you have, at least with modern grading systems, anything below a 59 is essentially an F. we kind of know that. I mean, you can get into the nuances of whether it's like a 0 versus a 50 or something, but at least in terms of modern Western grading, anything below a 59 is out of 100 is considered F. Okay. So I'm just going to put that here under else, because basically, if it doesn't hit this, it doesn't hit this, it doesn't hit this, and then it doesn't hit this, it has to be below 60, which would be an F. So I'm just going to, so else, I don't even have to reevaluate it because it doesn't even technically matter. This is my catch-all score of F. All right. And then, so now I should get a score of C. I set this to a 65. It should be a score of D. And if I set this to anything below 60, like say 50, but not 505, there you go, score of F. And then anything, 40, score of F, 30, score of F, so on and so on. Okay. So that's how we can kind of use these else ifs to really like fine tune exactly what we want to do. So, going back here to like whether you get free shipping, that's kind of an either or. It's like you either get it or you don't. But maybe like, I don't know, let's just say for the sake of argument, you don't get free, I don't know. Maybe if you spend $100, not only do you get free shipping, but you also get like a gift or something. I could say, okay, well, anything more than 100, you get free shipping and a free gift. Okay. Then I want to set up that middle tier where you spent more than 50, but not 100. So you get free shipping, but you don't get the free gift. So I'm going to reevaluate with an else if total is greater than 50. You qualify for the free shipping. And then since the only other option is you don't get anything, you don't get free shipping, or then I'm just going to throw that under else. Or sorry, you don't qualify for the free shipping or the free gift. Okay. I'm going to come in here. So, let's say I set this to 125. It should say you qualify for the free shipping, free Giphy instead of GIF there. I'm going to set this to 75. So I should qualify for the free shipping, but not the free gift. And there you go. And then anything less than 50 should be, I don't get anything. Okay.